Hello, everyone. My name is Martine Kei Green-Rogers. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am coming to you from the land of the Lenape people, which is now known as West Hurley, New York. I encourage you to find out the name and the culture of the indigenous people who originally occupy the lands that you currently reside on. I am currently an associate professor in theater arts at SUNY New Paltz, and I'm past president of the Literary Managers and Dramaturgs of the Americas, and a freelance dramaturg who has worked at places such as the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, the Court Theater, and Salt Lake Acting Company. With me today, which I'm super excited, is Tyla Abercrumbie. Tyla is an actor, writer, director, and a member of Timeline Theater Company, where her play Relentless, written by her and directed by Ronald J. Parson, is slated for a production in the coming season, with dates still TBD, which I understand. Okay. She is currently in the Showtime hit series The Chi, which is airing Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Tyla is a Chicago native and a Chicago-based artist, available for private coaching, and has 20 years in the business, and is available to consult on, and I quote, all things Black women have endured in American theater from one Black woman's perspective at any institution fighting systemic racism, and is vested in that change, end quote. Go ahead, girl. So welcome, Tyla.
Thank you.
Then with Tyla is Kirsten Fitzgerald, who is a proud member of the artistic ensemble at a Red Orchid Theater in Chicago, where she has also served as artistic director since 2008. Recent Red Orchid credits include the world premieres of Grey House by Levi Holloway and Pilgrim's Progress, and she has been fortunate to originate roles in Letty by Boo Killebrew and Appropriate by Brandon Jacob Jenkins at Victory Gardens Theater. Her Goodman and credits include Sweat, which we are here to talk about, by Lynn Nottage, and Row by Lisa Loomer. Thank you, Kirsten, for joining us today.
Very happy to be here.
So one of the places that we should start is just talking about what is Sweat about, and talking about Lynn Nottage's work. Part of me, even though technically it's supposed to be me that's supposed to talk about what Sweat is about, it's interesting. I kind of want to toss this for all of us to puzzle through. So talk to me a little bit. Tell me, what is Sweat about for you?
I never had one sentence for Sweat. I was always very impressed by anybody who could say it in one sentence.
Right.
But I didn't know if that was just because I can barely say anything in one sentence. So I feel like it is, the demise of the middle class, friendship, and how that becomes challenged by how we define ourselves by the accomplishments we've achieved and who we consider are part of that group, and how that falls apart when that thing you have in common goes away. Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Kirsten. Now you're gonna say it better.
No, I'm not. I'm going to say I also had a really hard time with I have that problem with every play, but I think some of that is because as actors, like, it's sort of our job to make the play about our character and what we need. I guess that how quickly things can change when we're not paying attention. What happens when everything you as people thought we knew gets sort of yanked out from under us, and how easy that is for us to turn on each other. I guess on some level it's about, union busting as well. We even put things in place work-wise to make sure that those things couldn't go away, and we believed in them.
People dedicate their lives to their companies, to their professions, to industry, and for it to turn on them with the unions or become unsupportive of them, I should say, because it's the company that turns on them, right? Yeah. And the union does not help them, that you think you have paid into this union, you are a part of this union, the union validates you in some kind of way. And then when you need them most, like a lot of insurance, you look up and they looking at you like, what you want me to do? I see now inside of Sweat why it was a Pulitzer Prize winning play. What we're dealing with even now in 2020, even though this play was based from 2000, 2008, and I think when was it written? 14, or at least in the teens. And I think that here we are in 2020, We're dealing with union stuff right now. We're dealing with friends falling apart because they didn't know these things about each other, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No,
And
so true.
they never had the tough conversations. So I find it really interesting to have done this play and be examining it now from 2020. You know,
Right. So, in the last few minutes that we have left, we should just talk about some of the themes of the play. In some ways, we've already started this conversation, but just to sort of wrap it up for everyone so that we can both answer and not answer the question for everyone about what this play is about, because they kind of just need to experience it for themselves in order to. And I am always highly encouraging of people to either go, especially now where unfortunately theater is on pause, go buy a copy of it and read it, because I think there's also something really interesting about reading it. Agreed. It's definitely a really interesting read.
One of the things we haven't talked much about is like parenting, is family, basically. I mean, like we talked about the friendship and the bar as family and whatnot, but like we are both parents of two young men that are working with us. Tracey, my character, vacillates drastically between defending him fiercely and also fighting him outright, you know.
Mm-hmm. That bar is representative of community. You're so happy with the life you've created for yourself, you start to not think about the life outside of this little community. And when that isn't intact, then neither are you. Who you are as defined by what you do is not in place, then family, friendships, everything, gets tested.